Hey everyone, before we dive right into the action, I wanted to let you know that I stream these things on Twitch, and if you wanna hang out with me while I'm live, you can follow the channel, will be the first link in the description. Alright, we're getting the black pieces, and against e4, we're gonna be trying out the Gurgenidze system. Or if they play with c4, we're gonna transpose into like the normal King's Indian, but as long as we see like knight f3, we're gonna try to play it somewhat similar to what we've seen in like the Caro-Kann raiding climb. So just gonna be doing d5. If you've seen that, I think gonna be like much easier for you to pick up this opening, and in case you haven't, you should definitely have a look on it. I think Caro-Kann is a super powerful opening, especially for beginners. And see my opponent playing with e5, locking my bishop. This is super thematic. We've had these kind of positions quite a lot. The idea is to like get the bishop out and pin. Waiting for them to go h3, then we have to take. Stepping back is not an option because of g4. So we're gonna be trading. And computer actually prefers knight d7 and f6 in these positions. But I think to keep it simpler, just gonna be developing both knights. Gonna get castled. And then we're gonna be breaking with c5. Or okay, when they play with bishop g5, it's a bit of a special scenario because the f6 break will be much more effective. I could have started with short castle as well, but just play knight d7 controlling d square. I think next move will be f6 with very good counterplay against the queen and the g5 bishop. So on rook e1, I'm like considering f6 pawn takes. I could do bishop, but I kind of want to do knight. Can he go rook takes on e6? Maybe that's a thing. Yeah, so if I play f6 and they take, so if take with the bishop, they're kind of forced to take, I assume. Can take with a rook. Queen has to move. Queen e2 slash queen g3. Not sure I love that. Alternative is c5, but then he can simply play c3. I think the position requires me to play f6 though. So I think we're just gonna do that. Pawn takes and then take it with a bishop, force the bishops off. Yeah, knight f5 could be like funny motif sometimes, but there is f7 check and they win the queen, so that's not good. Just gonna be taking back with the bishop, hitting this, and after the takes, we get to protect the e6 pawn as well. Could also like maybe perhaps consider knight takes and then on rook takes on e6. We might have knight e4 ideas, hitting the queen, d2 knight, and the f2 pawn. The reason though why I'm like considering rook takes on f6 as the main move is maybe we could keep ideas to breaking the center with e5, even though I'm not like really seeing how that will happen. Yeah, I think rook takes is more solid. Keeping this well defended, could play knight f8 if needed to defend this pawn. Ideas to play knight f5 as well. Like, if they either go queen g3, queen e3, then knight f5 could be like very annoying. If we manage to force them to give up the bishop and take, then this is really good for us, and we have at least an equal position if they give up the bishop. So I think just knight f5 feels really good. Activating with tempo, and if bishop takes, I think we'll have to take with this pawn because rook takes allows rook takes on e6. So this is kind of forced, and now maybe he can try to bring the knight over the outpost, and he's still like slightly better. Not sure actually I was supposed to start with knight f5. It's generally a good move, but what I don't really like here that much is the fact that my opponent has pretty easy position to play. So generally I like to make my opponent's life as hard as I can. I don't think we necessarily managed to do that in this game, but I'm thinking about knight f8, knight e5 and knight e6. They could play c3 and trying to understand whether we can play around that strong knight on e5. Also I was considering like an f4 kind of move. There seems to be queen g5 though, like at the very least. So Yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna start f4. I think I've got a trick. And okay, not sure if this like makes any sense, but what I'm trying to do is whenever they'll play like 95, I want to be able to have ideas to take and then play f3 myself. So against this, could do rook f5, just force queens off. He can infiltrate with rook e7, have rook f7, rook e1, king f8, takes, knight g5, king f6, knight h7, king f5. Knight is kind of trapped there. This is like two results game though for my opponent. I can hardly ever win it. Yeah, not like an easy decision to make. Can I do rook f7? I mean, he simply plays knight g5, I would assume. So rook f5 looks to be the move. Trade queens, rook e7. Yeah, I'm not loving that position, but I think we have to go for it. So, was queen b6 a move? Well, it kind of was, but have to keep an eye on the e7 square. So, have to play like really tight here. The position doesn't really allow us to do that much. I think I have to play this. Feels to be the more solid one and just trying to survive in the upcoming endgame. Opponent's been playing really well though so far. So let's see how this continues. I don't really see other candidate for him rather than going for takes and then rook e7. Hey Aquila, thanks for the sub, really appreciate it, buddy. Alright, we see queen h6. That's like a bit of a strange decision, I would say. I really felt like the endgame should be the way to go because it's like really one-sided, but maybe we can hope to like trap his queen somehow. Just queen f6, and this would be nice if we could get it. Yeah, not actually sure like what is going on, so he just has to go back. So, okay, queen h4. Could still go for the endgame and play rook f7. It's still a bit suffering though. Other one would be g5. Queen h5. Queen g7, try to trap him. Has rook e8. Forced to trade. I think I'll just try to complicate this now. Go g5. No longer interested though. Yeah, go into like the end games. So I'd be actually quite happy to see him playing queen g4. Because now I want the queen g6. He still can play like knight e5 to like kind of get away. But I'm having a huge threat to play knight f6. So yeah, that's like his only move. Can I still do like knight f6? Yeah, I think like against knight e5 we'll basically have to trade. I think this is just forced and well, could get like a huge attack with either h5 or starting f3. Like if I start f3, g3, h5, then the queen can escape that way to like d4. I think we start this way and maybe just g4 next. Could also bring the rook. That's also quite important. Do not forget to like bring all of your pieces, but I think this was important. And okay, do this. Maybe ideas to take. Maybe I was supposed to do f3. I think that was like a bit inaccurate by me. f3 and ruin the pawns. But I'm like a bit low on time, so I'm trying to like speed up here. So just g4, playing it slow, advancing, idea to go f3. If he takes, we're quite happy because then we actually get the open h file to play for. So I think he should try to avoid taking. But I might be playing f3 on the next move regardless. So thinking queen d4 like a solid move for him maybe. But that doesn't really work because of g takes. So I don't know. Okay, that's like begging for f3. And after takes, we actually get a discovery. And then we win the rook. And on rook g1, can actually sack the queen. And then we get a new queen. That would be like a pretty funny line, yeah. Okay, we're about to see it on the board. This is check. He's gonna go king. Okay, we actually can mate him. Never mind. Can go for queen g2. Could take as well. Kind of want to go queen g2 first and then just well, maybe that's actually a bit inaccurate because I don't have my rook protected. I'm gonna keep it simple and just like take the pawn on e5. I think actually bringing the other rook feels quite good, and we managed to get this game in eventually, but it was definitely way trickier than it looked. So I'm just like curious if after queen d8 he goes for this position. So basically I was calculating this line: rook e1, king f8 takes, knight g5, king f6, knight takes, king f5. I've seen this position, but I wasn't like sure whether his knight could escape. But according to the computer, this is like completely winning for white, but couldn't really decide whether he can rescue that knight or not during the game. So okay, opponent played like amazing in the opening. Not sure, like I could have perhaps done something wrong. Glad that you asked. My chessable course will be up on 19th of August, so I'll actually have I'll need to have a look on this position when they play bishop g5. I've had like a game previously when I played f6 and it was working really well, but apparently didn't feel that comfortable here. Computer prefers c5 in this position, and after c3 then queen b6. So someone mentioned this idea in a different position though, so this was a thing now. Here we got like very ugly position after he had like knight f3. But I mean, we were pretty lucky that instead of going for the risk-free endgame, my opponent wanted to keep queens and then he had to like go back, but I was like no longer interested for the endgame. And then after knight e5, sure, he's like, after rook takes, he's better still, but much more complicated. Thanks a lot for making it this far into the video, and in case you're looking for more episodes from the same series, make sure to click one of the videos that will appear on the screen. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you around on the channel. Take care.